in my rear view mirror, and as I looked in my rear view mirror, earning your money, yeah, without hurting anyone, you don't think it's a crime. You just think it's just the way what we did. We don't let out, and we hold it in, drugs. And it started off with just smoking. Is that the way my parents brought me up? Was it part of my psychological damage that made me be like this? Was it an escapism? Someone's going to give us this code, or this card, or this magic ingredients that's going to make us just turn that corner, and we're never going to go back. Printing, and fucking more printing. Can't get too deep into it, but what a fucking amazing little bit of money we made. You know, like, I sit here and I stand here and I look at this here down here and I step over and it takes me into another complete little dimension. This used to be called Fair Charms Industrial Estate. This whole place used to be full of warehouses. Had everything in here, everything from bookbinders to printers to fabricators to whatever. You know, I had my little business in here. For you guys that might even remember or even worked in here at the time, I've come across this channel and gone, fucking hell, I actually worked in there and I actually remember him. And I done well out of here. But I'm not going to get too deep into what I did. No way. No way. It's down to you to read the book. See, it was hard for me because there was always a side to me that I tried to keep away from my family, even my own partner, who you will read about in the book, who I met when I was 18 years old, who I'm still with today. I kept it away from her. I kept it away from my parents, what I was up to. The same way my dad must have kept it away from his wife, my mum. Is that what we do? Us people? Is that what South Londoners do? Is that what people off the street do? I call it off the street. I don't know if that's the right word, but I think it sounds too raw for me. But if we look around here now, this whole place used to be full of warehouses. Luxury flats. Ching ching, bling bling, full of money, people sing. Look at it, see the old crane. I remember all them up there. God, remember we're only a throne's stow away from the River Thames. That's the Creekside, as they call it. The hanging of the pirates. Read about it. I found it fascinating back in the day, but I'm not going to get too deep into it. But I can remember here, mate, out my fucking box, out of it, sniffed up, smoked up, coked up, the fucking lot. And it was a bit of my heyday. This is when I felt like I was making money here, wheeling and dealing, churning and earning, rolling and burning, iffing and fucking sniffing, mate. The South London in me, mate, got to me up here. And I realised that this was make or break here. But the chapter itself, you got to read it. It's phenomenal how Creekside itself played a major part in it. It was a big turning point in my life as well, like the rise and the fall, the rise and the fall, the rise and the fall of Deptford, the rise and the fall of my old man in Bermondsey. Did he actually came back to Bermondsey and started again. I cleaned up and I started again. I'm clean of that all that shit. You know, I feel ashamed, you know, you got to remember, my uncles are going to be watching this, my cousins are going to be watching this. You've just heard what I just told you, Ree, which I feel ashamed, but I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed, I'm proud of what I did, but I'm not going to tell you to do it, Ree, because I want you to learn of this. I want my viewers to learn of this. Drugs, alcohol, gambling, all these addictions. People get addicted to the most stupidest fucking things. Oh boy, drugs, painkillers, this, that. Really think about what you're fucking doing, because there's one thing we don't have is time. And you're wasting your fucking time on it. You don't grow up on it. One thing that drugs did, it made me feel like I was 17 forever. Every time I took that first pull, every time I took that first line, I feel like I was 17. The reality of it was I was a fucking mug. A mug. A mug. I'm here to tell the story, you know. Creekside, an amazing fucking place. You know, Creekside, Brookmill Road, you know, Rumbling Tums. These places I can't visit no more, you know, and it's hard for me to revisit them, you know. Like I walk down here and I don't feel ashamed about nothing. I'm going to get this out, and I'm going to tell it straight. I mean, I just want these people to pass. I don't want them to know the fucking secret. The only way we knew, all right? So listen, what inspired me to do all this? What, when you sit there and you look at me and you go, why is he doing this? Why is he doing this? It's a hard one, isn't it? Because this all started, I never started to write a book. This book wrote itself, you know? It started from a grieving process when Dad passed away. So when he passed away 12 years ago, we never went to school to learn how to grieve people. You know, we all grieve differently. We all get to, how can I explain? So it's hard for me to express this feeling that I had with grieving because we don't know how we're attached to these people that have passed, how close they are to you, how much did you love them. So remember I told you I got a business in Deptford today. Well, my dad had a business in Deptford that day because that was his last ever business he had. So we was neighbours, so we saw each other every day. And we was close. So when he passed, I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know what's the procedures, how do you grieve? And I realised I went through a really bad turmoil. I couldn't get over it. I mean, I was sleeping at night and I was dreaming of him and I was waking up and I was like, oh no, is he alive? And then for a split section I thought he was, and he wasn't. He wasn't. And the reality of it kicked in and I realised the daunting dark cloud that would fall on me. I couldn't get rid of it. You know, everywhere I'd go, just like now I brought you down to Bermondsey, would remind me of him. Rumbling Tums, Lucy Stop, would remind me of him. Creekside would remind me of my demons that I never, it's frustrating, irritating. Hated myself back then. I did hate myself, but I loved myself as well. Because I did believe I was going to come out of this. And I did in a bad way, not a good way, because I missed a lot of good times. And my dad, I mean, like I sit here and I'm trying to think about, you know, he's not with us today. And one thing that I would try to get over to you guys is that, you know, if you have any loved ones out there, you know, while they're still here today, please get a fucking camera and record it, because when they're gone, they're gone. And I wish if my dad was here today, I've got so many questions I wish I could ask him, and to hear it from his voice. And that's why it's important that I get this over to you, and you, Ria, and you, Layla, because I want you to have questions to ask me questions that I've already answered for you. You're not going to search. I don't want you searching. I want it to go down in concrete. And that's why I wish if I had that chance again with me dad, what questions would I ask him and what answers would I get? You know, he passed away of leukemia. He passed away of leukemia. And I thought, do you want the truth? I thought cancer was a lie. I thought that weren't for our family. That doesn't apply to us. We're not part of that. And when he got ill that day, he turned up yellow and I looked at him and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Dad? He went to hospital and they diagnosed him with cancer. I thought the fucking doctor was lying to us. He's lying to us. Son's paid him, he's on the payroll. We need to sort him out. Cancer. It affects all of us. 1 in 3. Fucking we was one of them, weren't he? And how do we get over it? How do we deal with these things? It's a hard one. It's a hard one. I mean, I sit here, and if you look up into this alley here, is any of these people walking down been affected by it? Trust me, 100%, 100%. You know, and I just say to myself that it hurts. It hurts. The whole fucking thing hurts that he's not here today. But I'm here to tell the story. I'm here to tell the story. You know, Mem Ree's journey. You know, came over from Cyprus, started in the calf down in Bermondsey. Shit happened. The rise and the fall. He came to Deptford. Again, they started all over again. They done well. And he never enjoyed it at the end. And that's what breaks my heart. He never saw you girls grow up. He's not going to see your children. He's not going to see your children. But I know if you have a camera or anything like that, please document your loved ones down, because when they're gone, they're gone. You don't want to have to see, you don't want to have them regrets. You don't want to have them. You don't want to have them regrets. Deptford, an amazing place. History, our history, your history. And if you guys have got anything you want to comment, please comment on it. Was you part of Deptford? Are you part of Bermondsey? Fucking write it down, mate. Let me know. Let me know. I'm down in Creekside, and I explained to you certain places I can't revisit, and I can't. I find it too emotional, like me being back here. I'm only glad I'm back here because I'm back here with you. I want you, as I'm looking up at my daughter, to say, look at these places my dad used to step over. The same way I went back down to Bermondsey and I looked at them places that my dad was. I want my children to see it. It's important. Because I want my grandchildren to see it, because if something happens to me tomorrow, you guys know who I am. You know what I'm about. You can hear my voice, like I said earlier. If you do have your loved ones, please record them. Get these bits down. It's important. It's part of your history, your legacy. You know, there's nothing more better than hearing it from the person's mouth. But listen, like I said, you know, when Dad passed away, he passed away from leukemia, and I can remember his day we buried him. And I don't think I can look into the camera when I say this, because it allows me to be part of that journey, because I found that day of his burial magical. And I can remember the journey from Peckham Mosque to Marvel's Lane in Grove Park. And it was a magical journey, because he was in the hearse and I was in the front of the hearse, and it was just me and the driver and my dad in the back. And I had my hand on the coffin. And we passed Bermondsey, and we passed Alaska Building. You know, we'd passed the CAF, we passed Khan's next door, we passed my school. We came all the way up, we came through into Evening Street and then down into Deptford, and we passed Rumbling Tums, past the shop here, and we passed Catford, we passed my shop. And I can remember as we was passing, I had my hand up on the coffin and I said, Dad, this is the last time you're passing fucking the cafe in Bermondsey. This is the last time you're passing the club. This is the last time you're passing my school. The last time you're passing Deptford. This is the last time you're passing Catford. This is the last time, Dad. And it broke my heart. But I was so proud to be in that hearse with him. I can remember it. And that last journey was so emotional for me, and just, you know, I loved it. He made me proud, just like I said in Bermondsey. You know, I was proud of him. I was so proud. You know, and if he was here today, I wish I could have made him proud, because he never saw anything that I'd done. Nothing at all. And I'm saddened by that. But I was proud that day. You know, Rami, you know, he was an amazing man, Rami. Read the book. It's all in the book. Right. Hi Hiya all, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I just want to introduce you to my daughter Ria, who has been the person behind the camera that's been capturing all the moments and the magical side of it. I hope you enjoyed the video. So what we've done is we've done a collective number of questions that we want to ask ourselves. Ria was going to ask me, but I thought, nah, bollocks to that. You come take a fucking seat and then you can sort of join in and stop leaving me in the forefront to put up with all this. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the Bermondsey one. We're in the Deptford one. Have you got questions to ask me, hit me, and we can answer them together. All right?
All right, so I'm going to read the questions and then we're going to answer each of us. So, question number 1. Even though we've been in Deptford many times before today, did it feel different? You can go first.
Right, so I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. It didn't feel different. A little bit of it did feel different. I will get to that. The bit that did feel different did feel different because they're my everyday footsteps anyway. You know, I go to work there. I've got my businesses there. I travel around there every day, say hello to people. I'm still got my community there. The bits that I did feel a bit alien to was actually seeing Rumbling Tums and Creekside, and the reason why is because, like I mentioned in the video, I don't go down them roads no more. So me to go back down to Brookmill Road and see Rumbling Tums, and just to look at it and see it's closed, and to know that we was the last people in there, and paint is peeling and the sign's still up there and we've still done that, and go into Creekside and seeing all the warehouses down and new flats, and that felt different. But in general, Deptford, my daily footsteps, no, it didn't feel different. Just those areas.
I hear you. For me, it was a bit of both as well. At times, it just felt like plain old Deptford. As I'm sure you know, I was born into Deptford.
Deptford is not plain. It's a colourful, and magical, amazing place.
It is, but the more you're in an area, you can get used to it. So at times today, it just felt like Deptford. Other times today, looking at it from the other side of the camera, did feel quite fresh. It felt, especially like being outside Rumbling Tums for the first time. Like, again, we don't really pass it. I don't really pass it. So I looked at it in a bit of a different way to how I had done previously. And yeah, feelings just felt a little bit more fresher than they had done. So a little bit yes and a little bit no. Second question. Do you feel like the viewers have got a better understanding of what inspired writing The Only Way We Knew?
I hope so. There was a part when you was filming, and because you've got to remember is when I'm filming, or when you're filming me, because nothing is manuscript or written, everything comes off my head. And there was a part where I was actually talking about the grieving process. And the grieving process is what inspired me to write this book. So it was an element of like a self-therapy thing going on at that time. Like I mentioned about, you know, I was in this deepest hole with this grieving process and I didn't know what I was going to do. You know, there was part, I mean, you're going to read it all in the book about, you know, is this the time where I call for some grieving counselling or grieving therapy or whatever. And I just thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to write everything down, how I'm feeling. And I think it was all this writing that inspired me it never inspired me. I ended up having this collective amount of written work that ended up becoming an element of a monster that inspired me to create this with yourself, this amazing book. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I hope I never lost you there.
If it didn't make sense, just let us know.
But grieving process is very important. I want to let people know this because grieving works differently for everyone. And you know, when you, like I explain in the book as well, grieving makes you do crazy things. You know, you join charities. You know, you help others. You change. You have a reflect, an understanding of what real life is, your mortality. when a loved one goes, and it just makes you really look at life in a completely different way. So it's something that I want you to understand as well. You know, life is short, it's precious, and when one's taken away from you, we don't go to school to be taught these things. So we learn this in our own way. So how I deal with it might not be the way you deal with it, and the person like who's watching these videos, they deal with it all differently.
Yeah, definitely.
Did I sort of jump this? Did I go to another?
You did. You're going into like life lessons, but that's all right because
yeah, but you're used to that.
It's a regular. It's a regular. Yeah, I felt like the more time goes on and the more content we put out there for you guys, between our Instagram, our YouTube, I feel like you're gauging more and more what inspired it, what is our inspiration essentially, because obviously me and Dad started this journey by himself, me coming along with him and working together with it. He obviously kick-started it, so his grief essentially is what drove this project, but together, you know, we just
it wouldn't have got this.
It wouldn't have got.
It
this
wouldn't
far.
have got where it this far without you. All right,
Oh,
so
thanks.
don't worry, I'm mentioning you in this as well. Yeah. Well, now you're on screen. Now you're taking over.
No one can take over from you.
I think you should go back behind the camera.
I will. Don't worry. All right. Next question. What did we want to achieve by taking you guys to Deptford?
I think we mentioned this before in the last video, and that's the last series when we was in Bermondsey, when we tried to explain that taking you back to these places is going to give you a visual effect of when you read the book. All right, we're going about it differently. Like I said, when you read the book and you read about Bermondsey, you read about Grange Road, you read about the Spill, you read about the calf, you read about Mum, like you sort of the visual images, you see what they look like, you see what my dad looks like, you see what we look like, you see what my daughter looks like, you just see everything. So when you start reading about these things, you're automatic familiarised, is that the word? Familiarised, connected, understand the cultural difference, the cultural understanding, you just get it. And that's what we wanted to achieve. Key, is that all right?
Yeah. I would have said the same thing. We just want you to be able to visualize it, really give you that true essence of London and all the places that the book is set in, really. So yep, this one is directly for you, Dad. So how does it feel presenting the story to the public, and do you feel uncomfortable talking about certain subjects?
When I read the book, I didn't feel uncomfortable at all. I felt it absolutely refreshing and cleansing, and I just felt, I felt like I built up an amazing friend. This is the only way I can explain it. I mean, when we was doing it together, when we got to the end of the book, I felt like I'd lost a friend. And I don't know if you can say that yourself, but I just felt like, shit, is that it? Is it the end of it? Oh my God, I found it so amazing and whatever. But what I'm trying to get to is that writing in the book, it was just me and the book and you. But when it comes to now me expressing this to a camera and you following me around with a camera and people that don't know me, and I'm trying to show what we're doing on the outside world and people looking in, do I feel uncomfortable? Yeah, I do, because I don't want people to mark me.
Which is very strange for him.
Yeah, but I don't want people to mark us. I don't want people to look at us in a different way. You know, I want
but
people
at
to
the end of the
familiarise.
day, we all have stories, you know, like no one's life is as clean cut as, you know, you're not just born and do everything perfectly. And us as a family, we are quite transparent anyway. So going through this journey, I have learned a lot about my dad. Probably more than a lot of people would learn about their parents, but we've used it to fuel the project. We've used it to, well, it's brought us closer essentially. There's been a lot of good things out of the project in itself. So
Can I just stop you there 1 second?
yeah.
So when you say uncomfortable, there's a big part of me that's uncomfortable, is even though you've read the book, or you've read the book with me, and I spoke about like my mental state, what I was going through, and my drug life and everything like that. It's I feel uncomfortable telling you these things, You know, I do feel uncomfortable in a way when I don't feel happy in myself when I do say these things to you. I do feel like a bit of a letdown, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to lie, because...
See, I look at it differently to that, because we're both human beings. You are my dad, yes, I am your daughter. You have a lot more wisdom than I do, a lot more life experience. However, we all go through challenges, and like in the book you will read, like I'll quote the book specifically, we all have this idea of our parents that they're some form of superhero, and they are in our eyes. They honestly are. My parents are like superheroes, but it doesn't disregard the fact that we all have problems at times. It doesn't disregard the fact that we all have challenges. We may struggle with them. You know, we're not perfect. And I understand that about both of my parents. I understand that about you. It doesn't make me look at you in a shameful way or a unproud way. If anything, I look at it as, I'm proud that, one, you have the confidence to talk about it. Two, you've gotten through it, which shows me that you can get through things. You know, I've been in certain situations where I'm like, oh, is this ever going to end? Like, am I going to get through it? Am I going to get over it? And you do. It may take a bit of time and it may not be as quick as you would like, but you learn that you can get through things. So I always say you can't necessarily teach wisdom. You have to experience things to learn it, but you can try and take it on. Do you agree?
Yeah.
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 So, all right then, next question. Do you think if your dad was still alive, that Rumbling Tums would still be open today?
Nah.
You don't think so?
No way.
Why not?
No way. No way. The reason why I tell you that is because Dad would be in Cyprus now. 100%. You know, he would have been, how old would he have been now? He would have been 70 odd years old. So he would not have been running. He wanted out of here a long time ago. And that's what breaks my heart. You know, that he never got to see that side that he was waiting for. You know, the side that he was like, I've had enough, man. I want out. Here's the fucking keys to the car. I'm out of here. I'm going back to Cyprus. I'm going to twiggle all my fucking whiskey, and I'm going to eat me nuts, and I'm going to watch the sunset come down in Cyprus. And I think...
See, I laugh because Nene probably would still be working in there.
my nan, your nan, my mum, would have been different. She would have been like, no, you must stay here, you can't give up. But you say that.
Yeah.
But now I think my mum would be like, nah, let's get out of here. We've had enough. We're done. You know, the work that they put into it, and...
Which is only right, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Nah, he'd be fucked off.
Yeah, me knowing through you how much Dede wanted to go back to Cyprus in his later life, I feel the same.
Yeah.
But I do think my Nene would still be in Rumbling Tums.
It would have been a battle.
It would have been called Lucy's doorstep again.
Yeah, it would have been a battle.
Okay. Do we believe that we've achieved what we wanted to achieve being in Deptford today?
Didn't you ask that question?
No, I asked, what did we want to achieve?
Oh, well, did we achieve it?
Yeah.
Look, we only get like an hour or whatever on the screen. So if you want to fully achieve what I wanted to achieve, that video would have gone on for 3-4 days.
It's worth trying to cut it all down.
There's a lot in it I haven't mentioned. There's a lot of stuff that I did in Deptford that I haven't said. So now there's part of me, I get a bit shitty scared I'm going to get fucking nicked with all the stuff that I'm telling you. But, you know,
we often have moments sometimes where we're like, should you have said that?
Yeah.
Are you sure I should say that?
Yeah, like, trust me. I mean, us from Deptford, we all got up to no good, and not even Deptford. It's just like I said before, like, you know, we was up in Catford. I've got boys from Catford, the people that are going to be watching this, you know, like all from Catford, from the old school and all that. They're going to be like, yeah, I remember Mem. But, you know, it's, it was all the same. Like I mentioned in the book, you know, we all relate. We all had a hardship. We all had some sort of hardship background, and that's why our school was so renowned for picking up the riffraff of the local southeast area. So yeah, it was yeah.
I think we did achieve it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm hoping.
But that's down to the
yeah, like Dad said,
the
I'm sure there could have been so much more that we could have showed you.
Like I said, if I had 3 days of it, I would have probably, you know. But
yeah, we hope you got the essence of Deptford.
Anything else?
Not really. I feel like we've been talking for ages.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So what it is, we've got a lot more coming up. Okay. I hope you enjoyed the Bermondsey one. I hope you've enjoyed the Deptford one. We've got a special one coming up in the near future. We're not going to say anything right now. You got to remember, this is hard work, you know, as well as myself trying to create all this content with my daughter. You know, I do run businesses. I do have a house to look after. You know, I do have my own self getting, and it's a balancing. It's so hard to try and achieve this. And you know, there's one thing that I need to explain before we go, because I want you to finish off with all the comments and all that. But I just want to say one thing. So when I explain to you guys about a journey, and I want you guys to join me on this journey, or us on this journey, it's not about a journey where I want you to watch us move forward with this book and achieve with this book. The journey is for you guys to look at the journey that we're going to be taking, and you guys to look at your own personal journeys, whatever it may be. So I'm going to give you an example. If it's passing your driving lesson, if it's about getting a job, if it's about repairing your relationship, if it's about going abroad, if it's about changing your career, if it's about finding yourself, if you've got your own dilemmas at the moment that you're going through that we've explained or whatever, the journey itself is to say, look, we ourselves are entering an unknown world of this literacy world of a book or whatever it is. Look, I'm a barber. Yeah, so if you tell me about a book, I know fuck all about it. But I am entering the veins and the arteries of a body of the literacy world, which I know that I'm going to go through every little vessel to make sure I get where I want to get with no money, no knowledge, no understanding, but just patience, research. And I'm going to make sure that I'm going to go with Ria to as far as we can until we can't go no more. So when you look at it and I say join us on your journey, is that you put the same effort, energy, passion, commitment into your own personal goals or your own personal achievement to achieve it. Because like I said to you, what we're recording on is an iPhone. The mic, I'm borrowing it from a friend. The editing, she learned last night. The sound, we fucked up 1,000,000 times. You know, so the whole sort of thing that we're doing, we're learning as we're going along. And I'll tell you what, we're not giving up. I'm not going to give up. And I like I explained to you guys out there, is your journey. Do not give up. Get to where you're going to be. And the only way you're going to do that is just stay with this journey. And I hope we give you encouragement to say, fucking hell, they've gone out in the freezing cold. Oh my God, they've gone out here, they've gone that. So how can I say no? All right, so that was one thing that I wanted to throw out to you guys about when I do say join us on this journey. All right, so listen, you finish it off because I've spoken enough shit.
So yeah, guys, if you've enjoyed our video, please like, comment, share, subscribe,
notification.
Put your
We need you guys to share these videos. All right, I know you've got to the end of these videos, so that itself is an achievement. All right, to hear me talk all this shit and to talk all this shit.
Now, Dad, and if you haven't watched our Bermondsey series, please head over to our channel where you can find them all. We want to take you on this journey with us. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Right. Later till the next one. All right. The next one you're gonna love it. All right. We're off. Blue barrels play a big part in the book. I fill 8 of these up with something that I'm not going to tell you what it is. And I ship them out, which I believe was going to be my freedom. An amazing chapter. Blue barrels.